Alright, so here is a nice, good, long battle with a guy named Mr. Crash, at least that's what he wanted to be called on the YouTube, from my Twitch stream, and yeah, it's standard. And I built this team because I wanted to give Mega Gyarados a try, being that I never used it, so yeah, that's the idea behind the team I made. It's pretty standard stuff, but yeah, some stuff I haven't used. Anyway, so let's get started. So, his in-game name is John 2. Alright, so I go out and Talonflame, as he goes out into his Mo form of, what's it called? Rotom. But, yeah, I really do not want to stay in and risk taking a Thunderbolt or something, so I go out into Excalibur, and he goes for the Trick, which, we're both Choice Scarf, so it doesn't really do anything. And, yeah, I think I go for a Rock Slide. Looking at his team, obviously, he thinks that I'm probably going to go for an Earthquake, so he ends up going onto his own Extra, which does have a Balloon, so I'm able to break that at least with Rock Slide. Obviously, still not going to do a whole lot of damage, but at least I get rid of the Balloon, so there's that. Moving on, I switch out because, yeah, I don't want to take an Earthquake, so I go out into Gyarados, and I also get off the Intimidate, and we'll see what he's going to do. He decides to set up Stealth Rocks, which is a pretty good move, since I do have Talonflame on this team. Although I did wise up and bring a Defogger this game, and also a Rapid Spinner. But either way, he goes back into his Rotom, and I Mega Evolve and just go for the Dragon Dance. It's a pretty good play because he's still going to be faster than me, most likely because he's Scarfed. I mean, let's face it, most Rotoms are Scarfed these days. Actually, pretty much always, because that's pretty much the best way to use it. But yeah, he is probably going to outspeed me, so I'm going to have to switch out. I go out into my Latios to take the predicted Electric move, as he just goes for a, I believe it's a Will-O-Wisp, so he was hoping I would stay in and get burned, but yeah, obviously I do not want that. But yeah, he is going to have to switch. He's locked himself into Will-O-Wisp, so there's no real reason for me to switch, at least I don't think so. But yeah, he goes out into his Water Doge, aka Suicune, as I just go for the Defog because I really just want to get rid of the Stealth Rocks, because obviously Talonflame doesn't like that too much. Regardless, I actually have a Thunderbolt on this Latios, so I kind of just want to see how much it's going to do. So I just go for it. He does switch out, predicting my switch into his own Latios, which, that works out for him because Thunderbolt really isn't going to do a whole lot to Latios. And I'm going to have to switch out because Latios is a bit more offensive in general than Latios, and I do not have a whole lot of speed investment, so obviously he's going to outspeed, and I just want to leave because I don't know what this thing's going to do. It's probably just going to go for a Draco Meteor or something, so I go out into Bronzong just to take it. He ends up going for the Surf, I guess predicting either my Bronzong or my Excadrill. So, yeah, pretty good play on his part as he goes out into his Charizard, which is a very good play, predicting my Stealth Rock, so he wanted to get it in before I got those up. And, yeah, now he's going to Mega Evolve it into Charizard X, and I make a fantastic play here. After he does that, he goes for the Dragon Dance. I thought that's what he'd do, so I decide just to go for the Kapow, the Explosion. It takes a lot of guts, I think, to keep a Bronzoning against a Charizard. But I kind of figured he would try to set up here, and I do have the normal gem, which boosts my explosion even further, and that is going to be a dead Charizard. There's little bits and pieces of Charizard goo just on the walls and stuff. It's a pretty gory sight, so children, you might not want to look. You might want to look away. Anyway, so here comes an Excadrill, and I have a Talonflame, so that's a pretty damn good double switch for me. I'm just gonna go for the Flare Blitz because I think I think I go for the Flare Blitz, yeah, because figuring it'll do decent damage to most things, except for this, basically. But it still do okay damage, being that, I believe my Talonflame is banded. Yeah, I think this is a banded Talonflame, so still does alright damage to the Water Doge, aka Suicune, and I'm going to switch out, because, obviously, this is not great for me. So I go out into my own Gyarados, and I do that because I kind of figure Gyarados should be able to... If this guy has two moves, it's going to be either Scald/Surf, or Ice Beam. Either way, Gyarados resists both of them, so I could possibly switch set up here, but yeah, I really should have seen that coming. I fall for it again. I try to go for a Dragon Dance to set up, but yeah, he's just gonna go back into Rotom, and there's no reason for him not to do that. I should have just went for the Waterfall or something to damage it, but oh well. I have to switch out again. I go out in the Latios, figuring he might try to burn me or something, or just that Volt Switch. And, yeah, I take that pretty nicely, but he is going to be able to send out a counter now to Latios, and he goes out into his Excadrill.
So I know these things can carry X Scizor, so I just want to switch out just to be safe. I don't really want to lose Latias yet, being that it's my only really reliable defogger, and obviously being burned is not a problem because I do have the recover on my Latias, as well as having 2 special moves that'll do decent damage. The other move I have was Draco Meteor. Anyway, he goes and sets up Stealth Rocks. This is one of those setup Extra-Drills. He makes a good play, actually, predicting that I would just U-turn and see what he'd switch out into, but he does stay in. Hard to steal right there, and just sets up his own rocks, and yeah, once again, that's pretty annoying. But I am able to go out into my guy here, and he goes for the Rapid Spin, so I can't set up Stealth Rocks again because my Bronzong is dead, and it's the only Pokemon I have that carries it. Either way, I decided to go for the knockoff. I actually wasn't really predicting Latios here, but I decided to go for the knockoff just to just to remove the item of whatever he decided to go into. Really fortunate for me that he was predicting a fighting move, and yeah, that lets me just take out Latios, which is huge for me because obviously Latios is a big threat. Anyway, so yeah, Excalibur here, I think this is the one that Draco Falcone gave me, against his Rotom, and he goes for the trick, and I'm still used to Gen 5 mechanics. Someone did tell me before that they changed how it worked. See, I was still under the impression that if you lock yourself into Trick and you receive a Choice Scarf back, that you're still locked into Trick. But they changed that in Gen 6, and I completely forgot about that. So I was still assuming in my Gen 4/Gen 5 mindset that he would be locked into Trick, which kind of sucks because he was able to switch his move to Will-O-Wisp, which is definitely going to cripple my Excadrill. Yeah, obviously a burned Excadrill is quite a problem because all of his moves are physical. So yeah, he ends up going into this Umbreon now, and I just decided to go recover. I wanted to see kind of what he was going to do. He ends up going for the Wish, which I guess he was kind of figuring a Draco Meteor or try to hurt him in some fashion, but he really has no super damage Pokemon that are alive on his team, so it's not like he's gonna, try to wish something else. So I just go out into Gyarados, and I do that figuring I might be able to set up on this guy. He does have the Foul Play, which does increase in power the more I set up. And plus, I kind of figured he's going to go back into Rotom, but he doesn't actually do that, and then I get some pretty cool hacks. I get crit in my favor, and then he misses Toxic, so yeah, I feel kind of bad about that, actually. So I just continue going for the Waterfall because I figure I might kill it. If I don't, it'll be really, really weak, as he does get off the Toxic this turn. And here I just overpredict like a bish. And, I just got greedy. I was thinking, okay, he's going to go for the Protect, right? Just to, get some extra Toxic damage on me. Get the leftover recovery. He goes for the Wish, which I kind of in the back of my mind thought he might do. But then I'm like, okay, he's going to have to protect this turn, right? He's not going to risk me just killing him and then, wasting that Wish. But I just got greedy, guys. I just got greedy. I go for the Dragon Dance thinking he'll protect. He does not. He goes for the Foul Play and KOs my Gyarados like a dumb bish. And that is an excellent play on his part. He played this Umbreon really well. He doesn't quite kill me, but obviously the Toxic is going to. And, yeah, I'm just kind of sad at this point. I'm like, oh, I should have just finished it. I should have just finished the Umbreon, but I didn't. I got greedy. And sometimes when you get greedy, you get burned. Just like there. Anyway, so I go on to Conkeldurr now, and yeah, I'm just going to go... I'm not even going to overpredict here. No matter what he goes into, he's going to take a ton of damage from my my Drain Punch, so I just go for that, and yeah, it's going to take out the Excadrill. So he is going to go out into Rotom again now. And I really can't afford to be burned on my Conkeldurr because it is one of those Iron Fist sets, not the normal Gut sets. And I think he knows that at this point because I am using Drain Punch, which is typical with the Iron Fist ability. But, yeah, he goes for the Will-O-Wisp, predicting that I'm not Guts. He is absolutely correct, but I also predicted he would do that and go out into my Excadrill. He is locked into Will-O-Wisp, and obviously he can't burn something that's already burned. I really probably could have predicted this switch because it was pretty obvious, but I just decided to go for the Earthquake anyway, which is not really going to do a whole lot since my burn has my attack. Actually, it doesn't look like they would do that much anyway. This Suicune definitely has defense investment, being that it is a Calm Mind set. So I go out on a Latios, and he's going to get a Calm Mind, which, if I just predicted that switching to Latios, he wouldn't have got that Calm Mind, and I could be doing some more damage with Thunderbolt, but he does, so at this point, this Suicune scares me. Now,
I don't know if he has reliable recovery yet. I kind of thinking in the back of my mind that he probably has rest, but I just go for the Thunderbolt. Still end up doing pretty decent damage with it, and he does have rest. And now I'm wondering, okay, does he have the Chesto Berry, or, whatever the berry revives sleep these days? Or, I think it's still Chesto, right? Oh yeah, Chesto Berry. Or I was thinking maybe he might have something else, or he might be a Sleep Talker. So now that I see the Chesto Berry, I'm leaning to the fact that I think that he doesn't have Sleep Talk, probably has 2 moves, which would be either Scald or Surf and Ice Beam, so I know that he can actually kill my Latios here if he wanted to. I end up going for the Thunderbolt, end up getting the Paralysis, which is just more hacks in my favor. I've gotten definitely pretty lucky in this match, and I kind of feel bad about it, but at the same time, part of the game. Deal with it. So I continue going for the Thunderbolt, and I just need to get to the point that he can rest again, or he's going to need to rest again, because as I said, I don't think he has Sleep Talk, so that'll give me 2 free turns, try to go out into Conkel Dur and do some damage with him, because at this point he has 2 Calm Minds. I really don't think I'm going to be doing that much damage with Thunderbolt. I go for it again here instead of just switching out, figuring... I mean, I kind of knew he'd go rest here, but maybe I would get, a Paralysis turn and be able to just finish him off with Thunderbolt, but it doesn't end up happening. He goes for the rest, and yeah, that's pretty obvious, and I'm going to have to switch out now. And I decide to go out into Conkel Dur, and I make a pretty bad misplay here. It's one of those dirt moments. I remember him using the Chesto Berry, but for some reason I thought he still had his item, and I go for a knockoff because I'm a noob, and I'm still rusty, and I completely forgot that he ate the freaking Chesto Berry, so that is just a waste of a turn. Should have went just Drain Punch, and he's going to get off a Scald, so this is actually really dangerous for me. If he gets the burn off of my Conkel Dur, it's basically game in his favor. And I just have to really hope that he does not get that 30% burn with the Scald, and luck is on my side here. He does not get the burn, and I'm going to Drain Punch again. I can Drain Punch and kill next turn, assuming he doesn't burn me. And he's not even going to risk it. He's going to rest. And here he decides to switch out his Suicune, which I think was probably his biggest misplay of the match. He has 2 Calm Minds up. It just seems like a huge... At this point, you have to be all in on Suicune. Switching out is not going to really help you. You're not going to get another chance because it still has 2 sleep turns left on that Suicune. So it needs to survive 2 hits when it comes back in, which is not really a guaranteed thing. Now, I do have the Mach Punch on my Conkel Dur, but I decided to actually switch out instead of using it and go out to my Excalibur because I kind of figured he would go here for the Leaf Storm, and I just didn't want to take it on my Conkel Dur. But furthermore, now that he has -2 special attack, and I know that he locked himself in a Leaf Storm, I can go out into Talonflame, which is huge, because now I can just Brave Bird, which is basically a priority move with Talonflame's ability. And, yeah, Banded Brave Bird is obviously really good. It's the main reason why Talonflame is as OU as it is. And, yeah, he goes out into Umbreon. Umbreon can take 1 Brave Bird, but what is he really going to do? He can definitely foul play me and do some damage, but he's not going to kill me because, well, yeah, it's just not that strong. But, yeah, Talonflame does live, and I can even survive this Brave Bird to finish off Umbreon. So that means I can really cripple his Suicune, and it's not going to come back. Because as soon as I get a Brave Bird fall from it, I'm just going to be able to revenge kill. That's all I really need to do, is do enough damage that I can come in with a Thunderbolt and finish off the Suicune, which, yeah, is more than enough, because he still has those 2 sleep turns. He has to wait for the sleep to wear off, and, yeah, obviously this bodes well for me. I do lose Talonflame, but now I'm just going to, obviously, like I said, go into Latios. He still has 1 more turn of sleep, so he can't do anything next turn. And I am faster anyway, so I would have gotten 2 Thunderbolts here if I needed to. And he doesn't even get, 1, because, yeah, Water Doge is just going to die to that 1 Thunderbolt. But still, a very good game. 46 turns, I think it said, maybe 48. Either way, extremely long game, and really good back-and-forth action. I thought I played really well with the Bronzong. He played really well with the Umbreon. It came down to the end, and I think overall, the game was probably determined by the hacks I got. I got lucky in a few places, and I think that tilted it in my favor. But obviously, really evenly matched and really fun match. But anyway, I digress. We need a question of the day. I guess I'll go with the hot topic among competitive battlers right now. Smogon added a new Uber, Landorus. Not the Therian version, not the version that I actually really like. and thought was really good, but it actually base Landorus was the one that they decided to ban. I guess it's because of all this sheer force nonsense. Obviously, sheer force is an excellent ability, and it could just cripple teams. But yeah, let me know how you feel about that. Like I said, I always found the Therian form a little bit more actually challenging to take care of, so I'm not really sure because I haven't been keeping up with the Gen 6 metagame that much, so let's face it. But I'm not really sure if it was really an issue. I'm actually kind of interested in hearing your guys' thoughts about why it's banned and whether you agree with it or don't. So yeah, leave a comment about what you think about that. And one more thing before I go, make sure you check out the video description. We are doing a Pokemon Showdown tournament mono letter. Yeah, weird format, I know, but if you want to check that out, it's going to be on November 7th, 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my Twitch. There's a link to the video with the rules in the description. Check that out. If you want to come on out, it should be a good time. Should be a lot of fun. This is for my, I believe, the 1,000 followers on Twitch. So yeah, check that out if you want to. If not, whatevs. Later, guys.